Hey everybody, it's 123 Mr. B here, making a quick little video about mistakes, making mistakes in math. I want you to know that it is okay for mistakes to happen. In fact, that is part of the math learning journey, as is feeling like you want to bash your head against a brick wall sometimes. Now, here's what happens when a lot of my students make mistakes. They have this habit of erasing everything and then just starting fresh, and then making other mistakes, and then erasing everything, starting fresh until the paper is virtually worn out. Now, I would say this is a bad habit because once you erase your work, you can't examine your work to see where the mistake was. I would invite every student who does this to stop doing that. Just stop doing that. Acknowledge your mistake. Acknowledge that it's okay to make mistakes. But the goal and purpose of our math learning journey is to say, okay, now that I've made this mistake, I'm going to find the mistake. If you erase everything, you can't find your mistake. If you can't find your mistake, you can't learn from it, okay? So number one, stop erasing everything. Just look at it, have a look at it with your teacher, hopefully, or another student, and they'll hopefully help guide you into saying, okay, I see, this is what we can do, and all that kind of stuff, okay? But if you erase everything, you got nothing to go on, okay? Second thing, a lot of people say they get mad or frustrated at themselves when they, or hopeless as you can see, when they make a mistake. It's natural and normal for the brain to feel frustrated or for you to get upset if you keep making these same mistakes over and over again. Now, I can't tell you to think of it any differently, but I do invite you to consider those moments opportunities for you to really remember. You know how like when something really strikes you say, well, I'll never forget that again, right? Remember that, okay, I keep forgetting that negative sign. Instead of directing my energy into being upset and angry, I'm just going to really focus in and say, okay, when I do this thing here, this is my result, and I'm going to remember this. I'm going to put my effort into remembering this stuff instead of getting mad. Because remember, the dog that wins is the dog you feed. That's the mentality here. If you're going to feed the brain that is looking at learning, that will win over the part of your brain that's trying to get angry, okay? The other thing about this, I should probably mention, is that fight, flight, freeze response here. If you get mad, or if you start to feel hopeless, take some time. This is a little clock here, okay? Take some time away from the math so that you can cool down. Because what happens when you get frustrated to a point, the neurochemistry in your brain actually changes immediately, so that the stuff that's involved in the actual learning process becomes incapacitated. It stops working virtually, and making it impossible to learn when you're in that state. Go for a walk, go get some water, chill out, come back to it later on, okay? Also, if you feel hopeless, know that setbacks are a normal part of life, okay? And we have to get that into our mindset that a setback in math or a frustration because of a mistake doesn't mean it's the end of the world. There's always a solution. That's something my dad taught me a long time ago. He's like, don't worry, there's always a solution. Stay calm. And when you stay calm, then you can get in that thinking mindset. But we need to know that it's a part of it, and it's normal and okay for us to feel this way because we're human beings, okay? But once we get past these things, once we let some time pass or have a change of our mind so that we can understand that we want to learn, and we're going to cool ourselves down, and we're going to grow, and we're going to change, and we're going to ask for help, and we know we can do this, even if it's a little bit of extra work, then that will bring on the beginning of these aha moments. But none of these, and these are the things that help make things click. This is when math clicks. But these aren't going to happen until this stuff gets out of the picture, okay? So acknowledge your emotions, that's fine, but then collect yourself and bring yourself back to planet Earth and say, all right, I need to learn this. What can I do to learn this? And start with baby steps, one little step at a time, and you will be fine. So don't worry, mistakes, that's part of the learning journey. And if you acknowledge your mistakes and work from those mistakes while staying calm after acknowledging your frustration, you will be successful, okay? Just don't give up.